Good evening and welcome to Vision of Asia, the news you can trust and events that move and celebrate our very own South Asian community. I am Pia Jyoti Kachru coming to you from our ITV Gold studios in New Jersey. In the community news, we have this week with Padam Shri Dr. Sudhir Parekh, followed by storytelling session by Jugal Hansraj and joined by Indian Union Home Minister of State for External Affairs and Culture, Meenakshi Lekhi at Indian Consulate in New York. Also, we will have highlights from first time in history, Edison Township Mayor of Edison, Sam Joshi, held Eid celebration with the community. We also have coverage of 38th edition of FIA's Dance Pay Chance competition, along with some highlights of Shikha Bridal Expo Shikha events, presented Shikha Bridal Expo at E Hotel in Edison, New Jersey. And also the prestigious America's oldest and largest film festival, New York Indian Film Festival Virtual Edition 2022, took place from May 7th through May 14th. And also, the Midwest Punjabi Association and Indian Consulate in Chicago paid tribute to the martyrs of Jallianwala Bagh. And we also have the Indian classical music legend Shiv Kumar Sharma, who died at the age of 84. We will be right back after these short messages. So let's start this week with Padam Shri Dr. Sudhir Parekh.
Thank you, Dr. Parekh, for talking to us.
Namaskar.
Namaskar. Starting from home, the news which has shaken the United States, or rather the democratic women folk in US, Supreme Court decision that could overturn the constitutional right to abortion, allowing individual states to more heavily regulate or even ban the procedure. Roe v. Wade is the name of the lawsuit that led to the landmark 1973 US Supreme Court decision establishing a constitutional right to abortion in the United States. Does the Constitution recognize a woman's right to terminate her pregnancy by abortion? That's my first question to you.
Well, I think Roe versus Wade, this anti-abortion Supreme Court judgment in a few years ago, which is about 1973. It was very important judgment or decision by Supreme Court, because that gives all the women their fundamental right to choose whether they want to carry the fetus, or they want to choose to do the abortion, or there are circumstances where there is an unwed female can get pregnant, or some health issue. So I think that last 40 years, or 50 years almost, this law was kind of, it was very good, and personally I believe in that. But now we don't know, but we have some this leak information that
Right.
Supreme Court is going to decide against it. We don't know till Supreme Court comes out, and we'll see how it comes out and what form it comes out. But I think it's a big battle ahead of us, because most of the women rights association and organization will oppose it. Even Democratic Party will oppose it, and see what happens. Wait and watch.
So, but my question is the harassment, intimidation, threats to the judges, and destruction of property that we've seen since the unprecedented leak of the Supreme Court's draft opinion are unacceptable and no way to advocate for your viewpoint in a democracy.
That is true. I agree with you that no violence or no gundagiri or no anything which is uncivilized should be allowed. It should be condemned, and doesn't matter whether Supreme Court agrees with you or doesn't agree with you. You have to follow Supreme Court order, whether you like it or not like it.
Thank you. So next I would like to talk about India. The Indian rupee dropped as much as 0.7% to 77.4337 to the dollar on Monday. The rising treasury yields in the US are one of the major reasons for this. This is happening as inflation has breached multi-decade levels. The value of the dollar is also rising owing to the rate hike by the Federal Reserve, and it is expected to go up further in the coming days. Why do you think is
Well,
the
there is
reason?
an inflation inflation is already there, and what Fed wants to do is to control the inflation. And in order to control inflation, they have to raise the interest rate. And when they raise the interest rate, obviously dollar gets much stronger. And when dollar gets much stronger, all the currencies which packed with dollar on all the international trades which happens in the dollar, they gets weaker. And that's what's happening with the Indian rupees. And that shows that is not good sign for Indian economy, because of the weaker rupees, our shows the weakness of our underlying economy. And therefore, it's very important that Indian government also try to raise the interest rate. And if they raise the interest rate, probably they can stabilize the rupees.
So China has the maximum forex in the whole world. Its forex reserves are larger than India's GDP. With China's zero COVID policy, the major cities of the country are under strict lockdown. This has led to difficulty for a lot of companies in India dealing directly with their neighbor.
Yes, I agree with you, but and again, that's why most of the nation or most of the people in the world, they do not agree with the Chinese government policy of the zero COVID, because zero COVID is kind of impossible thing to do. What they should do is, when they do the lockdown, they should try to vaccinate as many persons in the China as they can, but they are not doing it, and therefore this COVID cycle going to go on, and that will affect the supply chain, that will affect the world economy, and that will affect everyone. So that's unfortunate part of the whole thing, because COVID, in fact, viral infection does not stop by doing lockdown. The virus infection only stop if you vaccinate the people, and somehow China is not doing it because their vaccine in the beginning was not very effective. And therefore, I don't know what reason they are not doing it, but I think they should vaccinate as much as possible.
So in India, the value of the rupee is depreciating due to this massive selling by foreign investors. For the 7th month, they have been the next sellers in the Indian market. This has also pulled the markets down. Also, the rate hike by the RBI, which may be done again next month, has also made things worse for the markets. People do not want to invest in India.
Well, it's possible, because if you look at the history of the rupees, every 5 to 6 years, rupee get 5 to 7% depreciation. So even if you make whatever profit you make by investing in India, and if you are in the USA, then probably your return is instead of 20%, it's only 15% or 12% or whatever. So I think depreciation of the rupees is not good news for a foreign investor, and that's why you may see that when the currency gets weaker, a lot of foreign investors, they shy away from that country for temporarily.
What would you suggest as domestic policies that the government should apply to make the rupee stronger?
Well, I mean, what RBI is doing it is correct policy, because they are raising the interest rate. By raising the interest rate, they're trying to curb the inflation. So if you control the inflation, then probably the economy will get better underlying. So I mean, it's not that easy. It's a catch-22 situation. But I think what RBI's policy, as far as I know, their stated policy should control the underlying problem of economy. Of course, in short term, there will be a lot of pain.
The last topic that I would like to discuss today is the crisis in Sri Lanka. The South Asian nation of Sri Lanka is experiencing an unprecedented economic collapse that has pushed the government into a deep crisis. The island is struggling to import basic necessities for its 22 million people because of diminishing foreign reserves and crippling debt, spurring weeks of anti-government protests that recently turned violent and led to the Prime Minister's resignation. Much of the public ire has been directed at President Gotabaya Rajapaksa and his brother, former Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa, who are blamed by critics for leading the country into this economic crisis. What do you have to say
Yeah,
about
it's
that?
a very sad news, very sad news in our neighborhood, because Sri Lanka is kind of our next door neighbor, and I think this situation arises because of current Sri Lankan government has borrowed the money for building the infrastructure without planning, and right and left, the whole borrowing led to this kind of disaster. And now I think in next week they have $35 billion payment is coming due, which is, and their reserve is only $50 million.
50 million.
Versus $35 billion payment due. So that shows that their economy is completely collapsed, and that's why people have inflation of almost like 200%. Everything is very unbearable, particularly the day-to-day living, like food and energy and rental and everything. So people are very frustrated. But at the same token, people should do protests, but should do the protest very peacefully, because violence against anyone, whether you agree or not agree, or whether you think that they are responsible for this, should not be happen. Otherwise, there will be anarchy. So I think hopefully, I think India and the Western countries are helping, and even China is helping Sri Lanka to come out of this mess. Let's see, and let's hope for best. Thank you for joining this week. Dear friends, be careful, because though pandemic is over, but recently in last 1 week, there are cases in the New York, New Jersey, and East Coast has gone quite a bit up. Infection rate is almost like a 4 to 5%. So please be careful, particularly when you are with the in crowded place and indoor place. Get vaccinated, get boosted, and be safe. So till then, we'll see you next week. God bless America. God bless India. God bless Indian American community. See you. Goodbye.
Indian Union Minister of State for External Affairs and Culture, a Member of Parliament, lawyer and social activist Meenakshi Lekhi joined actor Jugal Hansraj at Indian Consulate in New York for a storytelling session from his new children's book, The Coward and the Sword. Let's watch some highlights.
I'm really happy and of course grateful to our CG for hosting me today and making me inaugurate this book, which is a beautiful book written by Jugal Hansraj, and this is, will attract many a mind. The title itself, The Coward and the Sword. So what happens when a coward gets a sword, and what happens when a brave are without a sword? I think that's what the book is all about. The bravery doesn't have to be with the sword. Brave people can survive without the sword, but coward can do very little with the sword. And the battle which goes on in each one of our minds, the messages which are very, very strong, need to be sent to the younger generation in a very, very simplified form. Since we are celebrating Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, all that India has to offer at 75, all the goodness that India has spread at 75, all the things which are progressive about our history, culture, ethos is what we stand for, is getting celebrated and transmitted to the next generation through this book. And I'm very, very grateful to both the author, publisher, and the CG for having me over. And I wish everyone a happy reading. I love reading children's books. That's the secret. So I'm going to finish reading this on my way back home. HarperCollins is one of my favorite publishers for the simple reason that they published my book as well. And I just wish all the best. And maybe this, who knows, this may come up as a video series or as a comic book. I don't know what his business plans are, but definitely there are different medias which can be used for transmitting the same information. My best wishes to Jugal.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
As I said, like my son, the birth of my son was the inspiration to write this book. And I wanted to leave something positive, a nice story, engaging story, which had some nice values and morals for the children to read, and maybe I can touch them in some way, in a positive, kind of positive thoughts for them. And it's all about peace and bravery. And those two things, often people don't think they go together, but they do. So that's what I wanted to write about overcoming your own fears, and all the solutions lie within your own heart.
Mr. Jugal Hansraj, all of you are familiar with him. Before coming to New York, I was familiar with his world, or our world, the world of cinema. But now I'm familiar with his other skills. I also, as a dear MC, you finished the book in the middle of the night. I also tried to go through several chapters. And I was straight away transported to the days of my childhood and some of the stories my grandmother would tell me. So that is the kind of sentiments and imagination that the story of Kofu and all its beautiful people living beyond mountains, living far away, evokes. And I'm sure children, not just children, but all of us are going to enjoy the book. And I wish the author, Jugal Hansraj, the book, the story, the creativity and imagination, all the very best. And thank you for coming for this function. Thank you very much.
Not go in that direction, because they have set the bar, and that's kind of, especially Tolkien is like, for anybody writing fantasy fiction, that's kind of like the biggest framework one can follow. So I wanted to like pull myself away from that. So inspired by them and the name Sarah, which well, we had a son, but that name was in my mind, and so I just put that name in the book, and she became the bravest character of the book. So for me, I think women are the bravest because they gave birth to us. Nothing is braver than the pain they go through and the sacrifices they make. So for me, it was a little way of a tribute to all the women in my life, and generally women who I think are much braver race. We may make a big hue and cry about being brave, but we know who the real brave ones are. So.
For the first time in history, Edison Mayor held Eid celebration with the community. New Jersey's one of the most diverse township, Edison, with the largest concentration of South Asians across entire US. For the first time ever in the history of Edison Township, the mayor of Edison, Mayor Sam Joshi, held an Eid celebration at the Edison Municipal Complex. Sam Khan, chairman of the American Muslim Council, Governor Murphy's Deputy Chief of Staff of Outreach, Deborah Kornawaka, council member of Edison Township, including Margot Harris, Joyce Ship Freeman, Nishit Patel, Ajay Patel, John Poiner, and many other community leaders and activists shared remarks and enjoyed delicious South Asian cuisine. Take a look.
ITV, thank you for covering this wonderful event right here in Edison Township Municipal Complex. What we are trying to do in Edison Township is making sure that we recognize each and every single background, race, religion, culture, and making sure that every single person understands one another's background. It is incredibly important for us in Edison Township to do that, quite simply because we are one of the most diverse communities throughout the entire United States of America. A lot of the issues that you may see or hear about internationally, globally, and throughout the United States in terms of division ends right here in Edison Township. My administration and the council are working tirelessly with various organizations such as the American Muslim Council, President Sam Khan, and so many others to make sure that everyone feels welcomed in Edison Township. These, I firmly and wholeheartedly believe, that if we as a community come together and start understanding one another, then we will, those vibrations of love will be felt throughout New Jersey and greater United States. And it is incredibly important to lead that charge right here in Edison. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Ram Anbarasan. I'm a councilman at Franklin Township in Somerset County. Today we are celebrating the Al-Fitr, which is the breaking of the fast for the Eid celebration for the Muslim community. As a Hindu, I have learned to respect all religions, and in fact, we are taught there is only one race, human race, and there's only one God that is universal to all of us. As such, we celebrate diversity in all forms. In our town, we have the whole month of Ramadan, we have lit one of our gazebos green to celebrate Eid, as well as we had one night we went to the mosque, Masjid Ali in our township, and I prayed with the Muslims and broke the fast one day. So I want to wish all Muslim brothers and sisters Eid Mubarak, and wish you all very well.
Hi, I'm Margot Harris, Councilwoman, Edison Township. I'm just so pleased and proud and honored to be at this event this evening. It's a wonderful thing that this community of ours is so diverse. It's one of our biggest strengths. It's something that I think that really lifts this community, that makes this community so desirable to live in. And so I am so happy to be a part of Eid Mubarak, and I want to wish everyone Salam Alaikum.
Hello everyone, I'm Shivi Prasad Madhukar. I'm on the Edison Board of Education, and I would like to wish everybody a very happy Eid. This is for the first time Edison Township is holding such a phenomenal event where all leaders of the Muslim faith and other people from other religions are here. And it's so nice to see everybody mingling. I actually grew up celebrating Eid. My dad's best friend was a Muslim. So every Eid, we would go to their house, and every Diwali, they would come to our house. So I know exactly everything, all details about this festival. So it's really nice to see this here in our township. And once again, I'd like to wish everybody a very happy Eid.
I'm Joy Shipp, the Council Vice President here in Edison. And I think it's just wonderful that we're celebrating Eid. I think we need to do more celebrations of different religions, and I think that it's really good that we can all come together and just enjoy each other. Just have a nice time with each other. It makes a difference. It makes me feel that much better, and it makes my spirit feel good when people are together. You meet, you greet, and you meet new people and new faces. So this town, moving forward, these are the things that we as a council and we as the Board of Ed and our mayor will be pushing forward of more and more togetherness, because that's how you get things done. Thank you.
Hi, good evening. My name is Azra Beg, and I'm from South Brunswick. It's a neighboring township from Edison. It was so nice to see so many different people here of different backgrounds, Jewish, Hindu, Christian, Muslim, all coming together to celebrate Eid, the Eid holiday that we celebrate after the month of Ramadan. It was great to hear from Mayor Sam Joshi, the council representatives, the school board members, etc. And we're coming together and enjoying one another and having good food and just having a good time. Thank you. Eid Mubarak to everyone.
So thank you very much, and especially ITV Gold. They are always with the community. Thank you very much, Mayor Sam Joshi, in hosting such a beautiful event. And you know, all the 1.6 billion Muslim around the world, they celebrate Eid after the Ramadan. And today, first time ever in the history that Sam Joshi give us an opportunity, open the door for our community. This is the community. He embarrassed the community, and with his open heart and open. So we all looking forward to working with him. Thank you very much once again.
Hello everyone. Eid Mubarak. I would like to thank you, Mr. Sam Khan. He's very active in community, and Samit Joshi, my dear friend. Thank you very much for organizing this. Eid Mubarak to everybody. Thank you.
38th edition of FIA's Dance Pe Chance dazzles after 2 years at Patriots War Memorial Theater, Trenton, New Jersey. With over 300 children participated from the various community dance schools in the tri-state area, competed to showcase their talent, discipline, technique, and costumes. Children aging from 6-year-olds through 16 and mixed-age adults groups competed with a sporting spirit, shining the grand stage of the theater in colorful production, lighting, backdrops, props, and music. Mesmerizing performances were a mixed repertoire of culture and tradition set to the tune of contemporary Indian Bollywood film songs. Let's take a look.
I'm here at FIA's Dance Pe Chance competition, myself Archana Joglekar. Judging here, it is nice to see good energy among all the performers and the young kids, and their enthusiasm, their energy, their joy is good. I wish that we have more dimensions of showing our true Indian culture also in these choreographies. But foremost, congratulations to FIA for putting together this event in such a grand way. So congratulations to FIA for all these efforts gone down there. And good luck to all the performers for this competition. Thank you.
हेलो मेरा नाम है कुश बैंकर और मुझे यहाँ पे FIA ने डांस पे चांस कंपटीशन को जज करने के लिए बुलाया है. इट अमेजिंग कंपटीशन. जो FIA जो काम कर रहा है इज़ अ विदाउट कॉस्ट, यानी पार्टिसिपेंट से कोई भी पैसा नहीं लेना और इतने बड़े कंपटीशन को ऑर्गेनाइज करना और इंडियन कल्चर को जीवित रखना विद द डिफरेंट स्टोरी. इट्स अमेजिंग. दिस इज़ अ रियली गुड वर्क FIA. रियली अमेजिंग. Thank you.
Hi everyone, this is Manya. Right now I'm at FIA Dance Pe Chance. Welcome to all ITV Gold viewers, and it's been amazing. I can't tell you, I had tears of happiness in my eyes just watching the children perform, keeping our roots, our culture, our heritage alive. When they said Jai Hind and Vande Mataram, I just burst into tears because it reminded me of my country and my homeland. So I'm so proud of each and every child who performed on stage today for keeping our culture alive, for keeping our heritage alive. And this is what we are in all our Indians, and this is what the Federation FIA stands for. We keep our culture and roots alive in so far away from our homeland, but we're still keeping our culture alive, and I'm so proud.
A very warm namaskar to all the viewers of ITV Gold. We are here at the 38th edition of Dance Pe Chance. We are very happy to be back for this in-person event, a very popular and much awaited this year. It's very heartening to see so many dance schools turn out, so many young budding dancers are here for their performance. We can't wait for the program to start and for them all to come here on the stage, show their amazing talent. We are very thankful to FIA for organizing this event today. It recognizes our budding talent, our best wishes to them, and our compliments to the parents who have been nurturing, grooming the dancing talent, and also to the dance schools who have been promoting these dancers and their talents.
Good evening, everyone. We are excited to be here on a war memorial, Tanton, celebrating 30th year Dance Pe Chance competition run by Federation of Indian Association. We are gathered here with the 400 kids, their parents, all the dignitaries are here. Everybody has excitement to have a show that after a long time, pandemic, that we did not perform last year. And all the kids want to perform on a dais. So with the grace of God, we doing this event after a longer time. We have celebrities here, Manana Chopra, Manya, Desmukh, Archana Joglekar. All the competition has a minor, major, and the adult competitions. The first time we're doing $5,000 first prize, the competition who is going to win. So saying that, I wanted to invite everyone to participate here, and thank you so much.
Namaskar. I want to congratulate all the participants of this 39th edition of the Dance Pe Chance. It is indeed an honor and a privilege to be part of this oldest competition that teaches children discipline, culture, and how to perform in front of public, and it builds their confidence. It is a matter of pride for the FIA fraternity to have been hosting this for the past 39 years. The event, as you know, started in Bownie High School in Queens with a very small group of kids, and it has gone to the tune of 800 kids pre-COVID. Today we will see some 400 plus children that will perform with very beautiful costumes and very methodical dance.
My name is Saurin Parikh. I'm the Vice President of FIA and also Dance Pe Chance Committee Chair. I want to thank you all for coming here today, and I wish you enjoy this show. I want to give a round of applause. I want to ask you to have a round of applause for you guys to come here. It's such a tough time, you know? And of course I want to thank many people. They are behind the scene. I want to thank the entire FIA Executive Committee, the trustee boards, and the The committee that really worked hard with me is Dance by Chance Committee. I want to give a big round of applause to Dance by Chance Committee.
Under the leadership of our Consul General, Sri Ranjit Jaiswal ji, he would have loved to be here, but we had another event in the consulate in the honor, in the memory of Sri Rabindranath Tagore, Guru Rabindranath Tagore ji. So we had that, so we are missing him here, but he sends his best wishes for this event and his congratulations to FIA and to everybody who's present here. Thank you so much.
Chandrakant Trivedi, Praveen Pandi come on stage with Chairman Ankur Vaidya.
Antime Chakravarti, Antima Chakravarti.
Shikha Events presented Shikha Bridal Expo at E Hotel in Edison, New Jersey, with special events which included meet and greet Bollywood actress Sheba, and for Mother's Day special, mommy and fashion show with Indian food, live band, a karaoke competition, and shopping. Take a look.
Always I see him on Instagram, on social media, Facebook, sharing my posts, making videos for my expo without even letting me know, which is a great thing and I really appreciate. And thank you Sunil Haliji, always there as my pillar, always supporting me. Thank you all the media, Pakistani newspaper, Mr. Lodi ji, Shabir Hussain, and as well Urdu News, ITV Gold, Ilyas Qureshi ji. Thank you so much everyone. Without all of your support, it's not easy. Thank you so much.
It's my pleasure to be here in America on Mother's Day. A very happy Mother's Day to everybody watching. And thank you, Shikha, for having me here. Thank you, Rashmi Bedi and Janak Bedi for inviting me all the way to US. The pleasure is completely mine and I'm absolutely overwhelmed with all the love and affection. The future is very bright because there are some very enterprising and encouraging people like Rashmi and Janak who encourage upcoming youngsters of all age groups. It was so wonderful for me today to talk to her, and she said, you know, we encourage talent and passion in every age group. So that is so wonderful. There is so much talent and beauty in this country, and I'm sure it will be tapped by Bollywood very soon. what I'm going to say is you can take people out of India, but you can't take India out of people. क्योंकि दिल है हिंदुस्तानी and हमेशा रहेगा. And I'm so happy that everybody is still so connected to their roots, whether it's the Indians, whether it's the Pakistanis. Everybody dreams of home and keeps little pieces of home in their heart, and that gives me so much pleasure.
The prestigious America's oldest and largest film festival, New York Indian Film Festival, Virtual Edition 2022, took place from May 7th through May 14th. Let's watch ITV Gold's Nidhi Katuria in conversation with the festival organizers.
I'm pleased to welcome to the studio Suman Golamudi, Executive Director of Indo-American Arts Council, Satish Kolari, Associate Professor at Pace University, who is also in the Festival Programming Committee, and Aseem Chabra, film journalist, author, Festival moderator, who is also the Festival Director of New York Indian Film Festival. The festival, which is running this week virtually and is in its 22nd glorious year, North America's oldest and most prestigious film festival, which features cinema from both India and the Indian diaspora. Pleasure to have you guys at the ITV Gold studio. For the first time, the Cannes Film Market has an official country of honor, which is none other than India this year. How proud do you guys feel?
Well, I'm actually going to Cannes next week, so I'm really excited about that. And I was telling my colleague Suman that there's going to be a panel on Indian film festivals, and I'm actually moderating a conversation there. So
wow.
I'll be very proud because I'll talk about the New York Indian Film Festival there.
Of course. I was about to ask, what role do you feel you have had in promoting Indian films abroad and at festivals such as Cannes?
So, I mean, leaving aside Cannes separately, I mean, our film festival has all these years focused in the US, and especially New York, before we went virtual. This was the first Indian film festival, as you said, started in North America 22 years ago. Originally, it focused on films, especially from the diaspora, but over the years, it's become much more of a festival that celebrates independent cinema in India, and also films being made in the diaspora, and also films made by non-Indians with subject matters are related to India. So, you know, we on our own, without sort of wanting to brag or something like that, our whole goal has been to bring Indian cinema that doesn't get a chance to be explored here in this country, doesn't get theatrical releases, and to share it with our audiences, which New Yorkers mostly, but now as we've gone virtual across the US.
So Aseem, you have attended like hundreds of film festivals. What virtues from select festivals or the replica model did you apply to NYIFF?
Well, but you know, New York Indian Film Festival has evolved by its own. I mean, it's not like we were trying to sort of get a replica of in other festivals. I mean, we specifically wanted to bring films which are in different languages in India. This year, for instance, we have 13 Indian films, 13 films in 13 different languages. We wanted to bring, as I said earlier, films that people cannot see otherwise. I mean, that's very, very important because big Bollywood films get theatrical releases. They also get streaming releases. These films that we bring often don't even go on streaming platforms these days because streaming platforms become very, very competitive. This year, for instance, we have 18 narrative films. We have 60 films in total, but we have 18 narrative films, out of which 10 of them are by first-time filmmakers, and we've just instituted an award, our debut filmmakers. So our goal is to encourage new voices and to share those new voices with the audiences in the US.
So coming to you, Suman, what is the percentage of filmmakers from India, from the US and around the world?
We have a lot of filmmakers coming from everywhere. Of course, we are a New York City based festival, so you see a lot of talent coming from USA. But we also have a bulk of our filmmakers who come from India who want to show it. You know, we have a great platform here in the film festival, Indian Film Festival in New York. So they obviously want to show their film to this audience and to expand their reach. So we have both, I have to say.
But in terms of percentage, like from US, how many people would be there?
I would say we have a lot more short films, short filmmakers here. I wouldn't give a number, put out a number there, but I think we have, let's say, 50%, maybe.
Probably in that ballpark,
in the
basically.
ballpark.
But the large number of films are actually coming from India.
From
I mean
India.
and then there's some filmmakers that sort of travel between India and the US also, so we don't know where they're based. Really.
So how challenging is it to curate films virtually and marketing the festival 3rd year in a row, I believe?
It has been challenging in the sense that the charm of having an in-person festival is lost because you get to meet the directors, the filmmakers, the cast and the crew, and have a Q&A in person. But the shift has been necessary. But I think as a festival, we have adapted ourselves pretty well in terms of hosting them virtually, and also it's kind of become convenient to use the virtual platform to have Q&As with directors who can zoom in from India or from London, and then so it's kind of convenient, but at the same time it's not quite the same.
The Midwest Punjabi Association and Indian Consulate in Chicago paid tribute to the martyrs of Jallianwala Bagh, where peaceful protesters were gunned down on the orders of the British General Reginald Dyer for protesting the oppressive Rowlatt Act on April 13, 1919. The celebration of Punjabi Virsa was held May 1, 2022 at Ashton Place, Willowbrook, Illinois, as part of the Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, a year-long initiative on India's 75th Independence Day, and to celebrate Vaisakhi as well as pay tribute to the martyrs of the Jallianwala Bagh massacre. And that's a wrap on Vision of Asia tonight. Send us your suggestions and community news that you would like us to cover for our print and television coverage at events@itvgold.com. Follow us on our Facebook handle at ITVGold. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and pick up a free copy of Desi Talk if you are in the tri-state or in the Chicago area for community news, entertainment, and events in US and India. You can also read the News India Times newspaper online at www.newsindiatimes.com or subscribe to the hard copy by calling 212-675-7515. This is Pia Jyoti Khatru signing off.